Folks, we have a great actor on with us. His name is Russ Russo. We're going to talk about a new film that actually opens Friday, October the 10th. That is Catch Hell. It's a Ryan Philippe. Now, Ryan, this is his first writing and directing gig, so it's kind of an exciting project for him. So welcome, Russ, to the show. Russ, how are you doing?
Good, Brandon. Thank you very much for having me.
Catch everybody up a little bit on this film. I don't know too much about it myself. I know you play a character named Tim, and it's pretty exciting to see Ryan kind of spread his wings with a project like this.
Right. It's a sort of a meta film. He wrote it based on a movie star who was, having some trouble going on location, and he gets into some trouble while on that location. I play an Eastern European action movie director, stuntman turned action movie director, who I guess they don't get off on the right foot. So it's a sort of film within a film scenario,
okay.
And some bad things occur not only on set but then off set for Ryan's character.
What's interesting about the synopsis is that the kidnappers torture and blackmail him, but more so is they hijack his Twitter account. Interesting the tie-in to social media, especially as we've had this hacking story consuming celebrity news lately.
I think Ryan has spoken about that. He wrote it at a time in which certain things were happening with Charlie Sheen and with Amanda Bynes and certain celebrity nude leaks and things of this nature, and sort of trying to figure out where we're at with that as a society as well. So it has, it's a thriller, but it still has a little something to say in that regard.
Obviously, there's a lot of folks that are directing and acting, at the same time. And can you describe or speak to how was Ryan's approach to that?
I think Ryan, the way that he had worked with Clint Eastwood and Robert Altman and these great directors who sort of their approach is very, very soft, very not very heavy-handed, and so he sort of he guided you, but he let you sort of do your own thing. He really trusted in the process, and it was very laid back, not a lot of yelling, not a lot of painful incidents. So to me, it just felt very comfortable.
Well, the film stars Tig Notaro, Joyful Drake from Let's Stay Together. I know about her, and James Dumont, which we've had on our show before. And can you speak to the cast a little bit and what your experience was like on set?
I worked specifically with Jimmy Dumont and with Ryan. And for me, it was a really great experience. I mean, Jimmy was just you spoke to him before. He's a hilarious guy. He sort of brings that energy on set, and so it was a joke all day long with him. And Ryan's a professional, but he can also be very funny too. And he made some suggestions, and there's some satirical elements to it. So. I had a really good time with it. I kept it light.
When you see Dumont, you can tease him that we still joke about, because he's in so many movies. He gave himself his own nickname. Or we just kind of joked about a nickname because he's in so many of these. He walks on set, he does his role, and moves on to the next one. And we called it about being the closer. We don't have time to play around with the role. We see somebody to come in, do their job, be done with it in an hour, and we're good. And so that we joked about him being the closer.
Yeah, he is, and a lot of the movie business is sort of this hurry up and wait element. And when financing comes into play, and certain days are administered, you just need somebody for those couple of days where you got to get that closer. We speak of it in sort of baseball terms sometimes. I think, with creativity in film, because sometimes you need that home run hitter, you need that guy who's going to hit that double, and you need Jimmy Dumont. He's the closer.
We've got a lot of great items on his resume, and folks, we're talking to Russ Russo about this film, Catch Hell. It opens Friday, and definitely an exciting thing. I'm a big fan of the thriller genre, so it's definitely one I want to check out, especially the twist of the film within the film, so keep your eye out for that. And then, Russ, I want to talk about this other one that you also just a great story, in my opinion, from what I'm reading about. It's called The Projectionist. And, you know, it's an Iraq war vet, got some PTSD, that kind of thing. So give everybody a little heads up on this film, because it really, really sounds very, very powerful.
Yeah, that one, I think Revolver Entertainment is putting that out first in theaters end of year, and then I think they're doing a video on demand and that sort of thing going into the new year. But the story is really it hits really close to home. I have my father had come back from Vietnam, and you know, growing up with him, I sort of understood a little bit about PTSD and how it affected somebody coming home, and then having the chance to play it. I sort of I had one of those experiences where you know, where I had my father in mind very, very closely, and I don't know what I can say so much about that film. There's a lot to it that's just it's just really, really close to the heart, really close to home.
With already being recognized, you of course have won the Best Actor award over at the 2014 New York City Manny Awards. So it's a film that we need to keep a lookout for there as well. It's called The Projectionist. Folks, we're talking about a limited release at the end of 2014, and then of course video on demand 2015. And as that pops up, if they can make sure they send me those links, we'll kind of try to be in touch with them and make sure we get the links. So we can always go back in and edit this up for you, especially you folks that will be listening to this on the internet. So we're moving along. Some of your other projects, there's so many different things we can talk about, let you kind of pick and choose. I know the Green Fairy's coming up, those kinds of things. So give everybody a little bit about some of your other projects that you got in the works.
Right. The Green Fairy is something I just finished for director Dan Frank. You know, has Linda Blair involved in that. Ashley Lawrence, I think she had done Hellraiser. But it's a fantasy film. A lot of it's shot on green screen, and it's my character is Eduardo Manet, who, you know, was an impressionist Parisian painter in the 19th century. I did a few days there. It tracks a lot of 19th century characters, so my time on that film is finished now. I only did a few days, and I'm just looking forward to seeing what he comes up with, because a lot of it's green screen, a lot of it has fantasy elements about absence and how it helped artists and hindered artists in that time.
It sounds like a very fascinating concept as well, trying to tap into that, and then of course using today's technology, which has become so much more accessible. It's great to see filmmakers tap into that, tell their story, create their vision, and be able to get that out to the world. And it was pretty cool that you're able to be a part of that. And you come from a background where, you know, coming in the Northeast and doing different things, and getting to this point, coming out of New York theater, and now of course great success in the independent film world. So has there been some person or something that you kind of still hang your hat on, a word of advice or a story that you can share with us?
Well, I think what I was talking about with the Projectionist with my father, I didn't see him after I was 5 years old, and I reunited with him right before that film, and right before we got to shoot that film, he died of cancer, and the thing that I can say is getting a chance to sort of reunite with him and feeling like I had him with me in that room shooting that film. That to me it's sort of inspired me, and it's reflected in a lot of work since then. You know, in the last couple of years. So that was a big moment and a big sort of a big event that has thwarted my life in a certain direction since.
Well, it's been great talking to film and TV actor Russ Russo. He's got a great film coming out called Catch Hell that opens this Friday, October the 10th. You want to keep your eye out for that, as well as some of the stuff that's coming up right around the corner. We have, The Green Fairy, which he just wrapped up. He was talking about that. But most importantly, this interesting one, due at the end of the year, limited release, so make sure you turn out for that, called The Projectionist. A very powerful film, and obviously very close and emotionally close to home for Russ. Thank you again for fitting us into your busy schedule, my friend, and I hope we can talk again soon.
Thank you, Brandon.